Greetings and welcome back to CS195 Web Development. This is week 2, HTML basic tags, and today's lesson, this lesson is HTML list. So if you remember last lesson, we learned the line break, and then we learned how to do some text emphasis. So I want you to think about, what did the text emphasis do? What were the two things that we talked about? Alright, what did you come up with? What did the text emphasis do? Hopefully you came up with strong and EM, which was bold and italics. That's what we're working on, was making sure you can give it bold and italics. So today's lesson, we're going to make a list. Now hopefully as you're catching on, you're noticing some of the stuff. A lot of it is what you can do in a Google Sheet so far. And we haven't got really complicated. Even when we get to simple CSS, a lot of it's something you can do in a Google Doc. So in the Google Doc, Google Sheet 2 has the bold button, right? You click on the B, it makes it bold. You click on the I, it makes it italicized. You can create a list inside of Google Docs. You just click on the bullet button or the 1, 2, 3 button. And we can do both of those with this. It's also going to be the first multi-tag element that you run into, right? Remember, the element is the whole entire thing, but you can have lots of different tags to create that one element. So we're actually going to see one that has two different tags in order to create it. And we kind of alluded to it, and you'll see as we kind of go through our success criteria, that, you have bullets and you have numbers. So our objective, let's understand how to create a list in HTML. At the end of the lesson, we'll be able to complete a con challenge to show that you can actually make this list. Our success criteria, students will demonstrate creating an unordered and ordered list, and I mentioned 2, in the correct location and with the correct syntax into HTML code. Alright, so again, that is this unordered and ordered list. That's what I'm talking about. This is why we need 2. We'll see in a second real quick. Again, hopefully you're following along. You clicked on the link. We'll watch the video together, and then we'll actually try this out. So over to Khan Academy, and let's watch how to add this list.
You know what I love? Lists. Have you ever made a to-do or a shopping list? Have you ever read a list on a web page like top 10 most ridiculous dog faces? I bet you have, because the world is full of lists. HTML gives us a few tags to make lists, and we're going to practice them by making a list of reasons why rabbits make great pets. Now, to begin a bulleted list, we must start with the UL tag. What does UL stand for? Well, I bet you can guess what the L stands for. List. The U is a little trickier. It stands for unordered, and it means that the browser won't number the list items. It will just add little bullets. See what I mean? Let's add the first item. They're furry. See the little circle on the side? That's a bullet. Now what do you...
Alright, so pause and go back over this again. Again, this is the 2 different types. At the UL tag that goes around all of it. Alright, so the UL tag, and hopefully you're kind of noticing this, she mentioned it, unordered list. A bullet is unordered. 1, 2, 3 would be ordered. So the UL tells all of these items, the list items, LI for list items, UL for unordered list, it tells it what is. And she's going to kind of point this over. I mean, every single bullet you want, you just add an LI for. Alright, so the UL surrounds it all. That tells it what type it is. The LI signifies list item, list item, list item.
Suppose LI stands for? The L is list, and the I is item. List item. Every time we want to add a new item, we need to add a new LI under the UL. Every UL should have at least one LI under it, because a list with no items is pretty boring. Okay, let's add some more. So great listeners, and eat all your leftover carrots. Okay, this should be a pretty convincing list. I don't know who wouldn't want a rabbit after reading this. Now, I didn't number this list because I don't think that one reason is more important than the other, but there are a lot of times when we do want numbered lists. Like if we wanted to make a top 3 most famous rabbits list. So to start our numbered list, we're going to use an OL instead of a UL.
Alright, so what did we use for the unordered list? Alright, you can just kind of look back up here, say it out loud, write it down, type it down. The UL, the unordered list, makes the bullets. Unordered bullets. And she just said the OL is an ordered list, which is going to give us numbers. Right? Unordered list, ordered list.
Well, have you figured out what OL stands for? Here's a hint. Just chop the first two letters off of what UL stood for. That's right. It stands for ordered list. And it tells the browser to automatically number each new item. We still use li for adding new items inside the list, however. So we have Bugs Bunny, we've got Thumper, and of course, can't forget the Easter Bunny. Okay. The neat thing about numbered lists is that the browser takes care of the numbering for us. So if we rearrange items, delete, add new ones, it always updates the numbers correctly. Like if all of you tell me that you don't know who Thumper is, then first I'll tell you all that you should really go watch Bambi, but then I will begrudgingly move Thumper down to the bottom. And now, poor Thumper.
So see what it is, he's automatically got number 3 when you moved him down. And when you add another item to it, it's just going to keep numbering for you. And if you move them around, now their furry is number 1, and it just bumps everything down. So that's the beauty of having these lists. But again, it always is OL or UL around everything, and then each individual LI for each of the items. But let's go ahead and try that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and full screen this, and then make it so you can actually see it. And remember, you need to tab to go over. We are going to start with an ordered list. Ordered list. What tag do we use for an ordered list? You can say it out loud. You need to remember some of these tags. Is the OL for ordered list. Hit enter, and notice it automatically indents for us like we were showing you in the last few lessons. Got to get used to this. Keeping the syntax. This helps us know that when we put our list item inside of it, it will go ahead and be inside of the OL. So what do you do for a list item? And a lot of these are nice and easy. LI for list item, and then my first item. And then again, it's an ordered list, so it automatically, she mentioned you can do this again. You can just copy this, paste it a few times, and then I can do second, and then I can do third. And if we just want these to be bullets, we change it over to a UL. And notice again, all those errors we saw over there for a split second, and the tags have to match up. That is one of the biggest things you can do in HTML, is make sure that it match up. But again, for this, the list has an outer tag which tells it what type it is, either the UL for bullets or the OL for numbers. And then each individual item is surrounded by an LI. That's all there is to lists, pretty much. So with that, we have a practice, a challenge, and journal entry that you'll work through. And then if you're still kind of struggling a little bit, there is a video that you can watch. What I need you to do is to practice the journal entry and the challenge as our assignment. So with that, have a great day. We'll see you next lesson.